There is a lot of opportunity, a lot of value in this spiritual orientation, aligning yourself with the pure positive energy that you are, aligning yourself with the spiritual dynamics underlying how physical reality works, putting your sense of purpose there, discovering what you are as a spiritual being, I believe, offers the greatest sense of purpose. Welcome to another episode of AI and Spirit. This is the video series of the Positively Focused YouTube channel where I talk about the convergence occurring between spirituality on the one hand and artificial intelligence, evidencing the emergence or the humanity moving through the technological singularity, which is actually a spiritual inflection. And in this episode, I want to talk about something that a prominent AI researcher shared at the World Economic Forum, where he said something that was profound and matching what I already know. It was interesting that my broader perspective guided me to this episode, this World Economic Forum video on YouTube, because the title of the video made it sound like these two AI leaders, Demis Hassabis and the CEO of Anthropic, I can't pronounce his name very well, but the title of the video implied that they would be talking about what the world's going to look like after AGI. And so that's why I clicked on it. But they never got to that point of the interview. Instead, I discovered something that Demis Hassabis says at the very end of the video that was, as I said, profound. It's profound to me because it points to what I believe a lot of people who are leading the AI expansion know, and that is that the biggest problem is not going to be solving the technological bottlenecks that are temporarily making it difficult to move forward toward AGI. The problem is also not going to be about humanity losing its jobs, being replaced by robots and artificial intelligence. Hassabis asserts in this clip that I'm going to share that the biggest problem is humanity finding its purpose. And this is exactly the reason, you guys, why I created this channel. Why I didn't create the channel for that purpose. I actually created it to provide clips to my Positively Focused blog. But last year, my broader perspective encouraged me to revitalize this channel. And it did so because of what Demis is going to say in this clip. Where are you going to find your purpose? I believe the purpose is going to be discovered in spirituality. And so someone has to offer an accurate representation of what spirituality is about. And that's why I decided to revitalize this channel, because my broader perspective knows that what I know is accurate with regard to the spiritual dynamics that underlie how physical reality works, which are the same dynamics which underlie how we work as individuals. And when we discover those spiritual dynamics and tune in to how we actually work, then our lives unfold in such a satisfying way. And all of my clients are discovering this. And so I'm offering this revamped version of this YouTube channel in order to address the problem that Demis Hassabis says in this clip. Now, if you don't know who he is, Demis is, I think he's leading the DeepMind research section of Google, basically the AI branch of Google. And so he's very well known from the UK. And let's just jump to the clip. Let me play the clip so you can see what he says. It's very interesting.
How much confidence do you have that governments get the scale of this and have are beginning to think about what policy responses they need to have?
I don't think that it's anywhere near enough work going on about this. I'm constantly surprised, even when I meet economists at places like this, that they're not more of professional economists, professors, thinking about what happens. And not just sort of on the way to AGI, but even if we get all the technical things right that Dario's talking about, and the job displacement is one question, we're all worried about the economics of that, but maybe there are ways to distribute this new productivity, this new wealth more fairly. I don't know if we have the right institutions to do that, but that's what should happen at that point. There should be, we may be in a post-scarcity world. But then there are even the things that keep me up right now is there are even bigger questions than that at that point, to do with meaning and purpose, and a lot of the things that we get from our jobs, not just economically. That's one question, but I think that may be easier to solve, strangely, than what happens to the human condition and humanity as a whole. And I think I'm also optimistic we'll come up with new answers there. We do a lot of things today, from extreme sports to art, that aren't necessarily directly to do with economic gain. So I think we will find meaning, and maybe there'll be even more sort of sophisticated versions of those activities. Plus, I think we'll be exploring the stars, so there'll be all of that to factor in as well for in terms of purpose. But I think it's really worth thinking now, even on my timelines of like 5 to 10 years away, that isn't a lot of time.
So there's a lot he's saying in this clip, and almost all of it, I think, is accurate. First of all, our institutions aren't ready to be able to redistribute the wealth that's going to be created as a result of the technological singularity. That's a good thing, because the resistance that the majority of humans are going to have to the tremendous wealth created by these companies is going to prompt government to have to do something. So that's really good. Demis also describes the other places. Well, he first sets up the problem. The problem is, with work gone, and it's gonna be, so many people get their purpose from work, but with it gone, they're going to have to find someplace else to get it. And then he lists a number of things through which people can find purpose. He calls them non-economic things. And he also includes among those exploring the stars. And he's right. There's going to be lots of things that people can find purpose in, and there are lots of things now that people find purpose in beyond their work. They find purpose in their marriage. They find purpose as parents. They find purpose as lovers. They find purpose in hobbies. There's all kinds of things that people can find purpose in. What I'm offering, and what this channel is about, is a much more satisfying, it is deeply satisfying, much more rewarding, and much more effective sense of purpose. One that aligns you with all that is. And when that alignment is foundational, then your life experience, including your hobbies, including your relationships, including your other passions that you might find purpose in, those things become dramatically enhanced. And the things that you might have considered to be problems or impossibilities suddenly become wonderful gateways to more and more satisfaction, and much more possible. The impossibilities become much more possible, because everything is possible in physical reality. Everything is possible in all that is. The only thing limiting that is to the degree that you believe they are possible. So there is a lot of opportunity, a lot of value in this spiritual orientation, aligning yourself with the pure positive energy that you are, aligning yourself with the spiritual dynamics underlying how physical reality works, putting your sense of purpose there, discovering what you are as a spiritual being, I believe, offers the greatest sense of purpose, and I must say, the most enduring sense of purpose. Because relationships, hobbies, space exploration, all of those things eventually end when you decide to transition out of physical reality, which is nothing more than an environment we create to facilitate expansion. And when you leave this physical reality, you take none of those things with you. So the most enduring sense of purpose is one that rests upon the foundation of what you are as a spiritual being. And I think Demis and others, like Elon Musk, has talked about the need to find a sense of purpose when work is being done primarily by artificial intelligence and then supplementally by humanoid robots. People are going to have to find a sense of purpose. And I don't think golfing or extreme sports or even space exploration is going to satisfy everybody. And I also know that this spiritual source of purpose isn't going to satisfy everybody either. Humanity did not come into physical reality to experience a homogeneous experience. We came in for our own diverse values, to pursue our own diverse values, and to explore expansion within the context of those values. So yeah, some people are going to deeply enjoy space exploration. Others are going to deeply enjoy sports as they do now, and doing so find their purpose. And there will be other things that people will find their purpose in. But if you're one of those people for whom none of those things hold enough interest to derive a purpose from, I invite you to take a look at your spirituality. As I said at the beginning of this video, your spiritual orientation offers you more value, more satisfaction, and a much, much more satisfying life experience than putting your purpose in anything that you might be doing. Being is the name of the game in the technological singularity, the world that's going to be created on the other side of that. Okay, I think I've said my piece. One other thing, for those of you who are subscribers, if you've been a subscriber for a week, then you now have access to my community section on this YouTube channel. The community section of this YouTube channel is my living room. So I'm inviting those who have been subscribers for at least a week to come into my living room and interact with me around my own personal experience, my own personal journey, exploring the positively focused framework. On the community section of this channel, I share my personal experiences with the positively focused framework. I talk about the desires I'm manifesting in my personal life, and I share the manifestations that I've manifested as a result of fulfilling some of those desires. In the community section, you can talk with me, not quite real time, but you definitely can talk with me more than you could in the comment sections of each of these videos. So if you're a subscriber and you've been a subscriber for more than a week, you now have access to that. If you're not a subscriber, feel free to subscribe. You don't have to. I'm not trying to grow this channel to some extraordinary number of followers or anything like that. But participating in the community requires that you be a subscriber. Okay, I think we're good. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.